something is seriously wrong with Meghan. And I think that's why Harry has found himself in so much trouble now, even financially, because of the lies, the spins. Just nothing is legit.
Markle is becoming more like Michael Jackson by the day. And by the way, I'm not talking about talent. I'm talking about the odd way that she is choosing to raise her family. Dogs on private jets, if we are to believe her imagery. And now revelations that she is only leaving the house in disguises. This from Rob Shooter of Shooter's Scoop, who says, this is the Duchess of Sussex's weird new secret. He reports, forget the tiara. Meghan Markle's latest fashion statement is apparently a wig. Sources tell Naughty But Nice the Duchess of Sussex has become so committed to flying under the radar that disguises are now a regular part of whenever she ventures beyond the gates of the couple's Montecito estate. We're told the look includes wigs, baseball caps, oversized sweatshirts, baggy pants, and sunglasses large enough to qualify as home security systems. She doesn't want anyone to recognize her, one insider tells Naughty But Nice. Everything is carefully planned, the wig, the hat, the glasses. She believes it's the only way she can move around unnoticed. According to sources, the undercover routine intensified after Meghan's recent trip to Britain, where she wasn't photographed once, and perhaps even more surprisingly, barely caused a ripple. After the UK, she's become obsessed with staying invisible, says one insider. Now she almost never leaves the house without some kind of disguise. Those close to the Sussexes say going incognito has always been part of the couple's playbook. Before their romance became public, Meghan and Prince Harry famously attended a Halloween party in Toronto dressed in costume, and Harry has spoken before about trying to blend into everyday life. But some royal insiders can't resist rolling their eyes. She acts like she's Michael Jackson, laughs one source. At this point, the disguise is probably attracting more attention than her face would. Whether it's privacy or paranoia, one thing is certain, somewhere in Montecito, the local wig shop is having a very good year. To royal YouTube sensation P. Diner now. So, P. Diner, can we just talk about some of this very odd behavior? So, do you really believe Meghan used a private jet to transport her dog for a couple of weeks from Montecito to Portugal and then the United Kingdom? Are we really meant to believe that, given this is a woman who's struggling with the money? And also the disguises, why? Like, no one really cares about her. What I have to say, though, is that I do wonder if she's looking at the Michael Jackson playbook and thinking there was almost a bounty on the heads of Michael Jackson's children because of the way he disguised them, wore masks, wore veils. Do you think this is all part of some twisted commercial plan? Because she's never been scared of being seen before.
You know, I think Meghan is just trying to bring a lot of attention to herself, and everything that goes around her branding is about all these different stories being placed here just to give her some kind of, credibility with, her status as someone who is reputable, who is high level A-lister. It doesn't make sense. We know that they don't have the money to, first of all, to fly a dog really seriously. I don't believe that. I don't think Meghan is in a position now to really make her brand work. So I think she's just trying all of these different things to bring credibility to herself. I mean, the disguises alone is ludicrous. If someone saw you, what are they going to do? What? Oh, that's Meghan Markle. No one is trying to harm her, to grab her, to make her as if she is, as famous as Michael Jackson. It's ridiculous. And first of all, why are we hearing about her disguises? If you're going out in disguises, then why is it being spoken about? Just go out in your disguises, shut your mouth. This is because she wants people to know about it. This is all a branding thing. I don't even know why we would even hear about her going out in disguises. She is not all that. It's ridiculous.
It is completely ridiculous. And P. Dinah, do you think that actually it didn't work out for her in a way not being photographed when she was in the UK? Because I always believe she is desperate for the paps to catch her. We saw that at Fashion Week too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would think that she would have wanted to be photographed. I'm surprised we didn't see her as well, Dan. It's kind of strange. See, I think that's what we have here. Someone that's just not. People are not really thinking about her like that. They really aren't. And I think she has this whole illusion about who she is. Her perceptions about who she is completely different than what we see. And I'm really surprised that we didn't see anything of Meghan. I think it just points to her brand in itself. She's just not that high level, and people are not really trying to find her, take her photos, unless she's calling people to show up to take her photo. People just are not doing that on their own. And I think that's because Meghan has this perception of herself that it's not reality. I mean, just look at all the lies she tells. Something is seriously wrong with Meghan. And I think that's why Harry has found himself in so much trouble now, even financially, because of the lies, the spins. Just nothing is legit, with them. And it's concerning, especially when other people are involved and children.
And the thing is with the private jet, P. Diner, actually, this comes on the same week that it emerges that the new boss of Prince Harry's Travelist has previously compared flying to drink driving. And by the way, he wasn't even speaking, P. Diner, about private jet flying. This is Traveller's newly appointed director, Graham Milner. He was just talking about flying in general. And he said there was a time when mentioning on a Monday that you'd just flown back from Milan or New York made you sound sophisticated. Now it's like boasting that you drank 5 pints and drove home. Yet if Meghan and Harry are to be believed, they're using private jets again to cross the Atlantic?
Well, I mean, this story is weird. Okay. They're trying to say it's like drunk driving when you fly on a jet, Dan. I'm confused about that. Like, what does that mean?
As in, it's so irresponsible. Like in the way, I guess what he's trying to say is like there was a time in, say, the 50s and the 60s where drink driving was just acceptable. And he wants a world where in a few decades' time, or maybe even a few years' time, you look at people who just fly in normal planes as if they're a drunk driver, as if they're that sort of irresponsible. So for me, I find this utterly chilling and terrifying. It's moving to this sort of hard left, eco-extreme world where no one can fly unless you're very rich and famous. But for me, the irony, of course, is that Harry remains connected to Travelers and, if the rumours are to believe, is back in the private jet business. So the timing of hiring this new guy is just totally bizarre. But I mean, it obviously fits with the hypocrisy, P. Diner, that we've seen all along.
Well, and also, wasn't he recently asked about his job title on that podcast? He didn't say anything about Travelers, did he?
No.
He didn't mention anything.
No.
Right. So, I look, Harry is just, it doesn't make sense, everything around what this guy has said and what Harry is doing now. And I just think he doesn't know what he is doing. Harry seems so confused to me about his own life because the branding doesn't make sense. The way he lives his life and then his speaking points and his speeches, they don't measure up. I mean, that just speaks to chaos in his whole life, his relationship with Meghan, his work. He doesn't even know what his work is. He doesn't even mention it. So, for me, Dan, I just think Harry is in a situation that needs to get better. He's in a situation with Meghan that he needs to get out of because everything has gone downhill for him since leaving the royal family. He's got Meghan helping him with everything, and she doesn't know if she's coming or going. I just think it's a bit much what's happening with Harry right now. He needs to be rescued. He needs to be saved. It's an emergency. That's how I see it.
Yeah, it really is actually an emergency. By the way, Peter, is that Otis with you?
Yes, I'm sorry.
He's a very loud boy today. No, I'm just sort of spelling out to people. It's not my stomach rumbling. I promise you. Okay, it's Otis. Can we see him, or is he asleep? We don't want to wake him.
He's asleep. He's asleep.
You can show him to us later once he's woken
Okay.
up. P. Diner, then the other thing that the Royal Grift has been doing a lot of good work on is just the fact that Meghan Markle's appearance on MasterChef in Australia, while car crash for so many reasons in the way that we discussed earlier in the week with the Royal News Network, was also once again full of lies. TRG posting, why does Meghan Markle lie like this? This woman is a fraud. And once again, P. Diner, she brought the receipts. Watch. I mean, she is such a fraud. It's great how the Royal Grift always reminds us of that at the end. Yeah. But I mean, it's just astonishing, the ability to just lie and think we're not going to pick up on these lies, even P. Diner, when compared to quite recently on With Love, Meghan.
Right. You know, it's just like what I was saying before about Harry. He's being essentially managed by this woman. This is why Harry's life is in such chaos. Meghan just spews lies so easily. I mean, for real, woman, look, we see like what you have said before. You're completely contradicting what you're saying now. And, you know, the whole world sees this. They understand that Meghan is not someone that can tell the truth. She doesn't live in truth. She lives in lies and chaos. And so, you know, watching this is just validation of what we've all been saying. Just imagine how the royal family is now caught up essentially in the lies of this woman, the web of lies of this woman. Imagine what she has said that has not been on camera. Okay.
P. Diner, as someone did say to me this week, though, thank goodness we didn't have to have a woman who eats like this at a state banquet. Just saying. Just saying, Pete Diner, is what they said to me. I'm just repeating it, okay?
Absolutely.
I mean, it's not very regal, Pete Diner, is it?
She's not. No, she's not. Meghan is just such a fraud. It's embarrassing. It's like, we had hope, girl. You have really just fall down so badly right now.
Don't worry. We don't judge Americans based on the way that Meghan Markle eats. I promise you. Rob Shooter does have some insight, though, into what he is describing as her MasterChef meltdown, P. Diner. Apparently, the cast and the crew were counting the minutes until she left. Let me take you through his new reporting. This is from Rob Shooter's Naughty But Nice, and he writes, Meghan Markle's guest appearance on MasterChef Australia was meant to be a feel-good television moment. Instead, it has become the subject of backstage gossip after the Duchess of Sussex took issue with being introduced as MasterChef royalty. And insiders tell Naughty But Nice that the awkward exchange was only a small part of a much bigger headache. According to multiple production sources, Markle's time on set left cast and crew exhausted, with some privately describing her as one of the most demanding celebrity guests the long-running series has ever hosted. By the end of the day, everyone was just praying for the taping to be over, one production insider tells Naughty But Nice. People are talking about the royalty comment, but that was the least of the crew's concerns. Sources claim Markle arrived with an extensive list of requests and expected every aspect of the production to revolve around her. She carried herself like she was Julia Roberts, arriving to shoot a blockbuster, another insider says. This is MasterChef Australia. The team has worked with award winners, world-famous chefs and global stars. They've never experienced anything quite like this. According to insiders, the biggest reaction came after filming ended. There was an audible sigh of relief when Meghan finally wrapped. Another source tells Naughty But Nice people couldn't wait for the day to be over. Even now, mentioning her name around the production office makes some crew members tense up. And this is what's so interesting to me, P. Diner. Like, of course, in Meghan Markle's head, she's going to hear this and be like, well, yeah, I think Julia Roberts, like, I am so much bigger than Julia Roberts. I'm the Duchess. But the reality is, she's not even at a level of Julia Roberts. And that is quite an astonishing fall.
I think it shows you how sick and twisted this woman is. I mean, that could sound extreme to some people, but really, who does this? This is not even like a A-level type show. Like, it's a cooking show. Why do you have to show up and be all diva-like? For what? Well, why? I don't understand this woman, Dan. You are just like going to act like people are going to treat you like you're some superstar, you and your disguises, and then acting all diva on set. it makes people not want to work with you because that is your reputation. And this is why Meghan doesn't have the people that are the A-listers, the heavy, high-hitting A-listers contacting her to work with her because she's so difficult. Imagine if you gave her a role in something that she was headlining. Like she was just a guest and this is how she was behaving. Imagine if she were like something even a higher level on, the call sheet. She cannot handle her own ego. It gets the best of her and she just doesn't know how to behave. And she gets this attitude like she has to be so difficult. For what? It makes no sense to me how you can see yourself like this, especially just it's a cooking show. Okay, Meghan, calm down.
I know. It's not Oprah Winfrey, right? And again, how long since that interview, P. Dinah? Look, now, I know this came out last week, and I did quite a deep dive on it with According to Taz, and people can obviously look back at that. But I did want to talk to you about this too, P. Dinah, because I think in some ways the mainstream media are underestimating the significance on this Oprah Winfrey U-turn. Like, this has been a big story in the independent media, but it hasn't crossed over. And remember, this is the interview which was really used as the benchmark by Meghan Markle and her supporters to try and bring down the British royal family. And Oprah Winfrey was such a big part of that. In my view, she was complicit in the lie. And what to me is so significant about this Vanity Fair interview is that firstly, she just looks embarrassed. It's one of those things like 5 years on, it's like, oh God, I was buying into this nonsense. But she does also admit that she was part of what I think is a conspiracy, going in and telling Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, this is going to be great for you, it's going to be great for me, and it's going to be great for you. Forget the truth, and we're going to come through this. So I just want to show you the two key moments in my mind, P. Dinah. This is the first.
Do this for my family. This is not a surprise to anybody. It's really sad that it's got to this point, but I've got to do something for my own mental health, for my wife's, and for Archie's as well, because I could see where this was headed.
They didn't want him to be a prince or a princess, not knowing what the gender would be, which would be different from protocol, and that he wasn't going to receive security.
What?
It was really hard.
Well, first of all, this is in Montecito. It's just right down the street from them. It's right down the street from me. This had been postponed probably 3 times because this was 2021. I was still in my crazy, I can't leave the house period. So I didn't leave the house for 322 days. By the time we finally sat down, I think they were both ready. They didn't know, obviously, anything that I was going to ask them, but I had said to them ahead of time, I'm going to try to cover everything. This interview took 3.5 hours. And as is always the case for me, I want it to be a win-win for you. So I was just trying to carefully go through everything that had come up in the past.
Okay, so P. Dinah, that to me was honest. That's the first thing. Oprah is being honest there. But that is an admittance that she was part of this conspiracy. Because what she says, P. Dinah, she was trying to go through each thing, okay? But by saying she wanted it to be a win-win, so as in a win for Oprah, a win for Harry and Meghan, guess who the loser was? P. Dinah. Or the truth. Yeah. And guess who the loser was when the truth gets thrown out the window? The British royal family. So to me, this is not how a journalist goes into an interview. You don't sit down with the guest beforehand and say, oh, we're going to go through everything, but by the way, you're going to win out of this. You say, we're going to cover everything, and I'm going to make sure that I extract the truth. So my contention, P. Dinah, she has admitted there. She may not realize it, but she has admitted there being part of a conspiracy to bring down the British royal family.
Absolutely. And we have to remember during the time when the wedding, she was already colluding with Meghan about this interview. So there was always this idea to kind of bring down the royals via Meghan and her disappointment with the royals, because she knew Meghan was going to get here from the very beginning. So before anything had even happened, Oprah was planning this with Meghan, and their secret talks. But yeah, I think Oprah is just trying to also give excuses for the fact that people feel like she didn't do enough follow-up questions. I think she's making it sound like, well, I was just hitting my point, so she didn't have to worry about the follow-up. No, you're a journalist. You have your list of questions, but then also there should be a counter, right, to some things that are being said, because I think she knew how Meghan was going to answer some of those questions because of some of their previous
talks. Of course
talks
she
that they
did.
had.
That sat down and
Yeah.
discussed it all.
Absolutely. So she definitely she was colluding with Meghan from the very beginning with all of this.
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
So she's not. Yeah.
100%.
I don't
absolutely.
believe that she's.
So you've got the collusion going on, which I think is terrible because it's always what I had reported. This was all planned. But then when she's actually shown that key moment in the interview where you've got to admit Oprah actually pushed Meghan to go even further. Were you silent or were you silenced? And she's embarrassed. It is so obvious she's embarrassed, but she tries to do something that I think is quite crazy, suggests that by doing that, she was actually trying to prompt Meghan into telling the truth rather than, I would argue, pushing her to tell a lie. Watch this. Pete Diner, my argument to that is clarification means asking the question. You've just admitted you had 3.5 hours. 3.5 hours. So if you've got some doubt about the story, which I believe Oprah Winfrey was admitting there, to me, I look at her response, I look at her body language. She knows now that Meghan Markle lied to her, but she was complicit in that lie because that is not a follow-up question. Journalistically, and I said this at the time, P. Dinah, she immediately needed to ask, okay, who silenced you? Specifically, who?
Right.
Who are you talking about? Are you talking about the king? Are you talking about
Exactly.
Catherine? Are you talking about the Queen? Are you talking about Clive Alderton? Are you talking about
Right.
Sarah Latham? Who silenced you?
Who silenced you? Right. And also, she had been talking with Oprah. Remember the Ariel thing she'd been saying about she never had a voice? That's the whole reason for the Oprah interview. Because she was silenced, right?
Yep.
So there need to be a clarification. You're sitting down speaking with Meghan because she couldn't say anything while she was in the royal family. So she was definitely egging that on and trying to make it clear, yes, Meghan, you have been silenced. Okay, so Oprah is, she's embarrassed by it now because the truth has finally come out about who Meghan truly is. And, Oprah's just trying to lay back with, it was just trying to get clarification. No, you weren't. You were definitely complicit in trying to say that she had been silenced by the royals, and you didn't want to follow up on it to ask exactly who silenced you. She didn't want it to go there.
Absolutely. So. Well, I just really wanted to raise that with you, P. Dinah, because I feel like it's such a significant moment and people are missing. People are missing what it means because I think Oprah's response and what she's admitted there really invalidates the Oprah Winfrey interview altogether. P. Dinah, I'm really annoyed though, because I think the pressure from the mainstream media and also some organizations that should be better, who I think are on Prince Harry's side, are now pushing Prince William into trying to reunite with Harry, and they're using the emotional blackmail of Diana's 30th death anniversary. I'm not happy about this. I'm going to go into the story and then get your reaction, P. Dinah, but let's move over to Substack in order to do so. Is Otis okay? Is he there?
Yes, he's fine. He's just really tired.
Okay, good. Well, we'll go over.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today's royal discussion centers on several recent headlines involving Meghan Markle, Prince Harry, and the ongoing public fascination with the Sussexes' lives. Reports have claimed that Meghan has adopted unusual methods to maintain her privacy, while commentators continue debating the couple's public image, business strategy, and relationship with the media. In this video, we'll look at what's been reported, separate verified information from speculation, and explore why these stories continue to generate so much attention. One of the biggest stories circulating recently comes from Entertainment reporting that claims Meghan Markle has been using disguises, such as hats, oversized clothing, sunglasses, or even wigs, to avoid recognition while out in public. These reports rely on unnamed sources and have not been confirmed by Meghan or her representatives. Even so, the story has sparked debate about celebrity privacy. Some believe high-profile public figures occasionally take extra precautions to avoid unwanted attention, while others question whether these reports accurately reflect reality. Without direct confirmation, it's important to view these claims as unverified. The discussion quickly expands beyond privacy to Meghan's broader public image. Commentators argue that every public appearance, social media post, and media report contributes to the Sussexes' personal brand. Critics suggest some headlines may reinforce an image of exclusivity or celebrity status, while supporters point out that public figures often face intense scrutiny regardless of their intentions. Whatever the motivation, it's clear that almost every story involving Harry and Meghan attracts significant media coverage. The conversation also touches on reports about travel and lifestyle choices, including claims about private jet use. These discussions often raise broader questions about environmental responsibility, public expectations, and the challenges of balancing security, privacy, and convenience for high-profile individuals. As with many royal stories, separating confirmed information from rumor remains essential. Prince Harry is also part of the wider discussion. Commentators continue to debate his post-royal career, public speaking engagements, charitable work, and business partnerships. Some observers believe he is still searching for a clear long-term direction outside royal life, while others point to projects like the Invictus Games as evidence of his ongoing commitment to public service. These differing interpretations show how divided public opinion remains. Few public figures generate as much debate as Harry and Meghan. Supporters argue they are navigating extraordinary public scrutiny while building an independent life. Critics believe many of the couple's public decisions have damaged their reputation and complicated their relationship with the royal family. This ongoing divide helps explain why even relatively small stories can become major international headlines. Whether these latest reports turn out to be significant or simply another chapter in the ongoing media coverage remains to be seen. For viewers, the most important approach is to distinguish between confirmed reporting, anonymous source claims, and personal commentary. Royal stories often evolve quickly, and new information can change the picture over time. If you enjoyed this discussion, don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more royal family news and analysis, and let us know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think the media gives too much attention to stories based on anonymous sources, or is that simply part of covering the royal family?